Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today, my guest will be from the Troup County Health Department, and also I will have on a guest from Keep Troup Beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for those interviews in just a moment. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have a guest on from the Troup County Health Department that's going to talk to us about the Senior Companion Foster Grandparent Program. Patricia Robinson, the director of both of those programs. Patricia, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, I think it was about a year or so ago, Patricia, you and I came together and sat down. We talked about a very unique program in our community where we partner up some of our seniors to go out into the community to have them give back of their resources and knowledge base to impart that into some of our younger people. Exactly. But before we get started, talk a little bit about your role as the director there for the Senior Corps Project.
Thank you so much. I am the project director, and that is for two programs under the Senior Corps program, which consists of the Foster Grandparent and Senior Companion program. I manage currently about 85 volunteers, all over the age of 55. Okay. Yes. And we interact on a daily basis to see how everything is going in the program. The Senior Companions, they go into the homes of other seniors, and the foster grandparents go into the school system and assist our children. Oh, okay. Well, very good. And you say all over the age of 55? Yes. Okay. And about 85 of these volunteers? And these are from right here, our local community? Troup County, serving, of course, Hogansville, West Point, and LaGrange. Okay. That is our service area. But they can live outside of that area, but they have to serve within the Troup County area. Okay, very good. And you all are housed out of the Troup County Health Department. Now, I think some time ago it was out at the hospital, right? It was at the hospital. And in 2007, the Troup County Health Department became the sponsor of the Senior Corps program. So that is when I became part of the program. I had heard about it, but I didn't really know too much information about it. Now it is just wonderful in our community. Well, you know, I had an opportunity to go over and speak to the Active Adult Center on a week or so ago, and I was probably about probably 85 or 100 people that were there in attendance, and you know, basically they just kind of want to know some of the things that were going on in and around LaGrange. And I want to tell you, a very active group of people there. I know they take trips to various locations, and you know, meals that they have right there on site. But a very great group of people, and I know some of those probably some of your volunteers as well. They are some of our foster grandparents and our senior companions, and they go there on certain days of the week because they have something to do. It gives them a reason for getting up and getting out of the house, because one lady just told me recently, if I didn't have this to do, I would probably just sit around and just watch TV or do nothing all day long. And she's very enthused about being a part of our program. Well, very good. You know, I think when they said active adults, that's a great term to use for them. And you know, it's a great resource to have in our community for our seniors to give back to the young people. Now, you talk about the foster grandparent where the seniors go into the school. What are some of the things that they have to go through in order to be able to go into the school systems and deal with our children? First of all, we do a recruitment process. We have an application process that we go through. And once they decide that, yes, this is what I want to do, because we have started doing what we call an overview of the program. We bring all the potential volunteers in for about an hour and give them some of the basics of what goes on. This will decide whether or not they really want to be a part, because just by hearing, they really don't know. That's right. So what happens is, once they go through, we go through something like a 3-day orientation. Okay. And during that orientation, they also get physical, they get a background check, and they also get a skin test at the cost of the program. It does not cost the volunteers anything. Okay, well, very good. So they basically, because you know, when we're dealing with children and talking about going into the school system to be present among the children, we have to do all those precautionary things to make sure that, you know, we're getting people that are going to be of good moral character and so on and so forth. Correct? Exactly. And you said they basically go through all of those things, the background, the physicals and stuff. So it's kind of a benefit to them, because it helps them to kind of get, I guess, know some of the health issues that perhaps maybe. It's pretty much like a win-win situation. What happens is we set the standards like this. We know you had a physical this year, and next year, and this is every year. They get these same things every year. And we know if there's anything that occurred, and it's extremities, the blood pressure and so forth and so on. But when they go back to their own doctor, if there's anything else, they know from a year from there, from this time last year, this is what has occurred. So it's a great win-win situation for them. And most of their doctors are saying, get out, get active. And this helps them to do just that.
Absolutely. You know, I think, you know, even myself, sometimes we get up, you know, you feel those aches and pains. So the more active, I think, the hopefully keep those joints a little bit more limber and useful, right? Now, and I know that sometimes, you know, with our seniors, a lot of them may be receiving, you know, Social Security income, things of that nature, and they can work up to a certain, make a certain amount throughout the year, and anything over that may be taxed. How does that impact, or is there an impact to someone that's volunteering? Is there an impact to them as far as taxes are concerned?
When I came into this program, this is the very first program that I was aware of that received a small stipend. The volunteers do. We are a nationally funded program, National Community Service Program, and we also are United Way agency as well. So they receive a small stipend, meaning that it's a small amount that we give back to say thank you for what the services that you have done, as well as receive travel, so that time that they use while they're with their client or going to their workstation. Now, many have asked us, just as you have, how does this affect my income? I'm on disability, or I'm receiving Social Security or something of that nature. The funds that you receive cannot be counted as wages. So it does not affect you at all in any way. It cannot be used toward any kind of housing, say for instance, they get assistance or something like that. It cannot be used for that at all. And we have guidelines stipulating that.
Okay, so basically it's just to kind of, I guess, gas and things of that nature. For
and
the
with it going up, there's a little
absolutely.
bit of help.
There's no doubt that one came to mind readily.
Yeah.
So basically they get a small stipend. I guess it's on a monthly basis?
Well, it is on a monthly basis, but we break ours down to every 2 weeks, and it rolls around quickly.
Oh, okay.
And it's a great incentive for them.
Okay, well, very good. And then, of course, you have the senior companions, and then you have the foster grandparents there, and the grandparents go. Talk a little bit about the senior companions there. I know we started out by talk a little bit about those for me as well.
The senior companions, both programs start out the same as far as the criteria for being a part of it. The senior companion goes into the homes of other seniors or go into the homes of caregivers. For other seniors, sometimes the only noise that they hear or the sound that they hear is that of a radio or a television. There's no two-way interaction. So the senior companions will receive a volunteer into the home to provide that companionship to them. They may take them to the grocery store. They may take them to the active life, as some do, and maybe just to get out of the house, to walk around the yard or to sit on the porch, because some of them are afraid. They may have taken a fall sometime in life, but this helps them. As far as providing respite, it does that as well, because some of us are caregivers, and it provides that time for that caregiver to get out and do some things, knowing that there's someone at their home with the loved ones and they're not left alone, because many cannot be left.
Absolutely. You know, it's such a great program. You know, when you were saying that, I think about my grandmother who's of age, and I mentioned her a number of times on the show here, who is 95, who still lives at home, very active herself. Of course, have those little aches and pains, of course. At that age, I tell her, well, you know, you still have to be thankful and blessed, you know.
Yes.
But, you know, it is a great program to have the senior companions go in, and you say to even bring them over to the active adult center so that they can bring them out to activities of such. And then they get a great meal. I was looking at the meal the other day when I was there. It was a wonderful meal.
Very nutritious.
Very nutritious, absolutely. And then I think that's so important that it looks like the program covers both ends. We have our young adults, and then we have our seniors at the other, and then the seniors can pour back into the lives of our young people who are, as we stated, are our future there.
Yes. And that's what they do. They are there for mentoring, and they're not only just in the school system itself, they are in some of our daycares, nonprofit daycares as well. And we were talking about your grandmother being, what, 95?
95.
We have a volunteer that's 94 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
And she goes and sits with the elderly, as she says. You know, so she has a client that she averages about 30 hours a week with.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, wonderful. Now, let's talk a little bit about, because you say 55 is your age. On up to 94, we hear.
Yes.
Recruitment, how do you recruit?
Just as we're doing here, we get out and we try to talk to our media. We also we do a lot of word of mouth. We do presentations at any civic or social organization, any faith-based organization. We try to get out and we talk about the programs, because once they relocated, many people thought they just went away. So if you would like anybody would like for us to come and do a presentation regarding these programs, just call us and let us know when. We are at the Troup County Health Department.
Okay. You want to give them your contact number, Patricia?
Yes, the contact number is 706-298-3664.
Okay, well, very good. So that's the foster grandparent and the senior companion. And do they have like an area where they meet, or do they just come to the health department if someone is out and about and want to stop by? Can they stop by as well?
They can stop by, because we are so much out into the community. We ask that they call that number and leave their number in case there's no answer. We will call them back, because we are constantly out in the community. And with gas being as high as it is, we don't want anybody to make a trip that no one is available. But we do have applications, and if they do come into the health department, some of our applications are up front. They can pick up one and just drop it back off or mail it to us. It has our mailing address on it as well.
Okay, very good. Last question, though, I think, any specific training they have to go through, Patricia, to qualify?
Not just totally specific training, because they are not certified to administer medication. We're there to offer that companionship. But if they want to have CPR training, we're doing that, and we're trying to get them now into some computer skills. Okay. Because a lot of them are afraid to just even tackle that. We want to be able to get some computer skills in there. But what we do go through is we tell them that, remember, these are loved ones, and treat them just as that. In order to be a volunteer, you have to have a heart to want to give of yourself. And we ask that everybody not come just specifically for the stipend. Please come because you want to give of yourself.
Absolutely.
Because as long as the money is there, the funds are there, we will have stipend, but when it runs out, will you still be a volunteer?
That's right. And I think that's so key, volunteer. It is being done on a volunteer basis. And, again, these are two great programs here in our community. And I know that you worked with it now since 2007, I think?
2007.
Okay, and doing a wonderful job. Like I say, I had an opportunity to visit the active adult life and have been in the schools and daycares and seen some of the foster grandparents and know that they do a wonderful job, and the teachers really appreciate them being there to have the extra hand and eyes to kind of help to mold our young people.
Because some of them need that one-on-one, and that's what we are after right there. And we also want to say 55 years of age and older, and willing to be able to give 15 hours of your time a week, we will be glad and more than glad to have you. Okay. Well, Patricia, I want to thank you very much for coming on and sharing this information, and I'm sure that you'll have an increase in your volunteer base there of 85 there. So we're just looking forward to that happening. Thank you so very much for coming on today. Thank you for having us. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have on two guests that will talk to us about the Great American Cleanup and Cans for Cash. I have on Bob Wiggins and also the Executive Director, Doris Jefferson from KTB. Welcome both of you all to the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Alton. Thank you.
Well, again, it is time for the Great American Cleanup and Cans for Cash. We'll a little bit later with the Cans for Cash, but we're still, hopeful that we will do it just as well as we did a couple years ago.
Certainly hope so. And yeah, there were some changes made, some major changes made this year. So moving it from the October time frame to the March and April time frame is a major change.
That's right.
But we're hoping that it'll be a really successful program.
That's right. Well, the community has come out so bountifully in the last couple of years, and we just kind of exceeded our goals both times. So even with the change, we're still hopeful that we'll exceed it again this year. Well, let's just talk a little bit about the Great American Cleanup. And Bob, if you just start us off here, talking a little bit about the Great American Cleanup.
Well, of course, the Great American Cleanup is in our country, is the largest volunteer one-day effort that's made in the United States. And last year there were over 20,000 communities participating in Great American Cleanup. And here locally, for example, we had over 1,000 people involved. And collecting, Doris told me this morning, we've changed our figures a little bit. We now feel like there's over 22 tons of trash collected last year, and over, I think it's 250 tires and whatever that were picked up. So it was very, very successful project. And it will run this year, ending in the 14th of April. We'll have the closing celebration on the square. And we and City of Hogansville will be doing this concurrently. The City of Westbourne, I think, is actually doing it a week later. But we're looking for participation and support from everybody in the community.
Okay, well, very good. And then, Doris, I know that I once upon a time was on the KTB board and still work closely with
yes, you do.
as a city representative. Talk a little bit about KTB and what's the mission of KTB?
Well, of course, our mission is to educate the public and about litter reduction and beautification, recycling, that sort of thing, and we just want to make a cleaner community, and that's our major focus is to educate our people about it, because it's different now than it used to be. And if you've driven down any of our roads and streets lately, you couldn't help notice that it looks like sometimes we are losing the battle, but we really are struggling, and we're working, and we do make a difference. That's the big thing, is we do make a difference.
Absolutely. As we drive down the parkway and some of the gateways into the community, of course, you always want them to look, as best they can. And it kind of disturbs me sometimes when I see, drive down and see like someone has lost a bag of trash and it's just kind of scattered throughout the area, and I think with all the efforts that we put forward,
absolutely,
it could take a moment like that to kind of destroy all the work that's been done. But we're going to, be hopeful and optimistic that people are going to come out not only on the Great American Cleanup Day, week, month, but throughout the year. That was always a Great American Cleanup.
That's right, and you're very kind to say they've lost it.
That's right.
We put a lot of emphasis on the Great American Cleanup, and it's great. It's a great project, but we cannot pick it up as fast as we throw it down.
That's
so
right.
The answer to this whole thing is don't throw it down the stars.
Absolutely.
With,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, the Cans for Cats, let's jump over and talk a little bit about that too, Doris, because as the community may know, and you and I know firsthand, that it is a little bit later this year. We normally the October 1st through October the 31st, but this year it's going to be a little bit later, like I said, throughout the month of April. Talk about that for us.
Well, actually, they changed it because they felt like they could get more participation throughout the country. And now it's a little bit more difficult for us here because we, of course, as you well know, we relied on the school participation, and they did excellent job in supporting it. And we're a little concerned that we're going to be conducting our Cans for Cash program this year during testing time. But we hope that the individual students will want to participate this year, and where the schools, we can't interrupt them with their testing periods or their training for the testing, but we can still get the kids involved. We want them to be involved. We want to be excited about it again. Last year we collected, in 2010, we collected over 780,000 cans, as you well know. So whether we can attain that number this year, we don't know, but we're going to try, and it certainly feels like that the thing is we're combining that with the Great American Cleanup, which to me, since it's part of one of our focus areas, it's a perfect fit for that.
That's
so,
right.
And we're inviting everybody to participate this year. We would just bring a bag of cans. You can't miss them if you're driving down the road. You're going to see them there. So just pick them up and bring them along with you, and let's just see what we can do and how successful we can be. And we can be very successessful.
That's so true. Our goal this year, Bob, have we set a goal for cans this year, for Cans for Cash?
I don't know that we set a goal. It's the whole situation has changed this year, as we all realize, but we're have the bar raised pretty high based on what we did last year. Over 750,000 cans collected, and of course those 750,000 cans, 750,000 plus, as Doris just mentioned, starts really with the first can. And the first can is an I can. That means I can, and you can, everybody out there. It starts with that first can,
That's right.
The program is set up the infrastructure is going, and all it takes is for us to turn the ignition switch or press the starter button and get up and just and do it. It is so important, aluminum, because you know, in our country, our aluminum today is about 70% recycled. So you know, we have a big standard that we have to stand up to. Mm-hmm. We drink a can of Coke today, that same aluminum be back in the scheme of things within 60 days. Mm-hmm. So you know, it's when you think about it, it's brain boggling.
It is.
But, you know, you can drink a can of Coke and put it in recycling and be right back in the stream of things within 60 days.
Right, absolutely.
And of course, the other good thing about that is that it is infinitely recyclable. You know, we save it today, and our grandchildren, great-grandchildren can use it. Mm-hmm. So it never goes away.
Yeah. So it pays to recycle.
Absolutely.
It pays to recycle.
Absolutely. And we want to thank the recycling centers for working with us on this annual program too. You know, and people can drop off their cans at Habitat Restore here in LaGrange, at the Recycling Center on Davis Road, and both at Lovett and Garrett Recycling Centers, and at the convenience centers around the county. So it's not like they have to take them, the kids don't have to take them to school. You don't have to put them in your car and keep them there for 3 days. You can just drop them off at the nearest location, and we will get credit for that. We're hoping that people will realize that and really support the project.
Absolutely. Again, you know, to have it kind of married with the Great American Cleanup, I think it is just a natural fit there as we're out, as you say, you know, picking up cans. And not only cans, but you also want to pick up the other litter that we see sometimes scattered along our streets and roadways and stuff. And
we'd also like to thank Novellis and the City of LaGrange and Habitat for working as a partnership with us on this project every year too. Absolutely. So. And of course, Novellis has been supporting this program for several years.
That's right. And Doris, we want to thank you too, because you worked from Keep True Beautiful side for a number of years, and taking the bull by the horn, as you say, and just kind of charging forward and help to guide us to obtain those goals that have been set over the years too as well.
Well, thank you.
Well, and the other thing that we want to talk about before we finish up, we talk about the Awards of Excellence too, but you know, we just want to come back and recap, but talk a little bit about the Awards of Excellence as well for us, Doris.
The Awards of Excellence are, anybody can nominate anybody. You can nominate an organization, an individual, you can nominate yourself. If you are doing something in the community that makes the community a better place to live and work, we have a form that you would need to fill out and present that to us, and then we do make these nice awards each year. Very distinguished award, and we would love to have the community participate in this program by just nominating somebody down the street, for instance. If they've done an excellent job in keeping their yard, or you know, beautifying their yard, or if they're doing they do a cleanup. There's so much going on in this community that we don't really know about, but we do know people are doing a lot of things. And just take a minute and fill out this form. It doesn't take long. There's no charge for it. And then we present these awards on an annual basis, and it's in recycling, beautification, and waste management, and litter prevention. So anybody is doing anything in those areas, those are our focus areas, and we would really appreciate them filling out the form and getting it to us. All they've got to do is call the Keep True Beautiful office, and we'll forward them a form.
Okay, you want to give them that contact number?
The contact number is 706-884-9922.
Okay, very
Well,
good.
we're located down here on Main Street in the Restore, the Habitat Restore now.
Right.
So, you know, we're there Tuesday through Thursday from 8 to 4. So. The number again is 884-9922, or you know, we're there at the old Habitat building or the Restore now.
Okay, well, very good. So you can come in, drop off your cans there at that location.
Exactly.
Go to the Restore and pick up you a good to take back home or to donate to someone else that might be in need of. So again, we got the Great American Cleanup and also the Cans for Cash, and you told us the drop-off sites there. And the Cans for Cash is actually going to run from the month of April?
It will actually run from the 5th of March through April the 3rd.
April 3rd, okay.
It has, this year, one of their stipulations is it's got to be 4 consecutive weeks together.
Okay.
And so those are the time frame that we're looking at this year.
So basically, I can, you can, we can
Absolutely.
exceed our goal of raising the cans that we want to obtain this year. And also, again, keeping in mind the Great American Cleanup too. So we definitely want the public to come out and support both of these very worthwhile causes. So Bob, Doris, I want to thank both of you all for coming on again and sharing this information. And we know that we're going to have other media blitz about this so that the community can come out. I think the city and the county normally challenges each other during the Great American Cleanup.
Yes, they do. We're looking forward to that.
Looking forward to that again this year. Well, thank you all very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
All
Alton.
right.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back for more City Weekend in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed the interviews today. My guests have been Patricia Robinson with the Troup County Health Department as she talked about the Senior Companion and the Foster Grandparent programs. Both of those are very worthwhile programs in our community, so I ask that you support them by calling and volunteering today. As she told you, you can give her a call over the Troup County Health Department. Also, I had on guests from Keep Troup Beautiful, Bob Wiggins, along with Doris Jefferson, as they talked to us about the Great American Cleanup and the Cans for Cash activity that will be taking place this year. So by all means, keep both of those in mind and help us to keep our community and state clean. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed those interviews. And as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.